I hope you enjoyed the previous episode, but if you have not seen our first episode, then please check out the first episode before watching this one, because this one contains spoilers from the first one. So, without further ado, let's get into the Anti-Heroes Episode 2, Blades Beneath the Surface. Our story begins deep within a hidden cave, nestled in the western cliffs of Aeclora. Water drips steadily from the cavern ceiling, echoing in the stillness. Zayn paces restlessly near the fire, occasionally glancing at his reflection in the still water. His face is grim, his jaw set with determination. In the flickering firelight, his features seem more pronounced, his emerald eyes burning with an inner fire. The image is broken only by the rhythmic dripping of water, a steady beat to his internal drum. He runs a finger along the worn hilt of his sword, his touch lingering on the intricate engravings. The metal feels cold beneath his fingertips, a stark contrast to the warmth radiating from the fire. He exhales slowly, a plume of air visible in the darkness. Suddenly, he turns towards Lira, who sits with her back against the wall, tending to his wounds. Despite the dim lighting, her face is illuminated by the ethereal glow of her magic. Her brow is furrowed in concentration as she carefully applies a healing salve to his torso. With every dab of the cloth, a faint blue light emanates from her hands, weaving a mesmerizing display of magic and medicine. Zayn watches her intently, his gaze unwavering. The sight of her magic in action, a soothing balm in the midst of their dire situation. Zayn gritting his teeth. "You're surprisingly good at first aid for someone who was about to shoot me." Lira glances up from her task, her violet eyes meeting his gaze. Her expression is unreadable. She pauses for a moment before responding, her voice soft but firm. "And you're surprisingly reckless for someone with a bounty worth a kingdom." Zayn shrugs, a wry smile tugging at his lips. "Guess we're both full of surprises." Their eyes lock, the air between them thickening with unspoken tension. There's an underlying current of suspicion, a silent question hanging in the air. Neither dares voice it, though. The silence stretches, punctuated only by the crackle of the fire. Finally, Lira breaks eye contact, returning to her task. She doesn't speak, but her actions convey a silent understanding. For now, they're bound together by circumstance, united in their shared predicament. But the question remains, how long will that last? City of Aetherreach. Aether is one of the largest cities in all of Aeclora. It stands as a testament to the ingenuity and magic of the Aeric people. The city is renowned for its stunning architecture, grand palaces, and soaring towers that seem to touch the sky. It is here in the heart of the city, within the majestic palace chamber, where the fate of nations is often decided. The chamber is a place of power and intrigue, where smooth marble floors gleam under golden light streaming through arched windows. Here, High Seer Calum, the leader of the arcane order, stands before a magnificent map that shimmers with celestial energy. The map is no mere geographical representation. It is a window into the very essence of Aerolon, revealing its vital energies and mystical ley lines. Around him, a group of robed counselors stand in hushed reverence, their faces etched with concern. High Seer, his gaze intense, addresses the council. His voice resonates with authority, echoing in the vast chamber. Zayn Hiroshi is alive. A ripple of surprise passes through the council, their murmurs hushed but eager. One of the counselors, his voice laced with disbelief, steps forward. "But how?" The bounty hunter Rennek had confirmed. High Seer cuts him off, his tone brooking no interruption. "And worse, he's with her." The mention of her name hangs in the air, a dangerous echo in the chamber. The counselors exchange uneasy glances. They know well the reputation of the daughter of the Crimson Veil. The High Seer continues, his eyes fixed on the map. If the prophecy holds, their union will tear open the gate of ruin, unleashing chaos upon our world. As if to underscore his words, a crimson rift begins to form on the map, tendrils of dark energy reaching out like grasping claws. The High Seer's eyes flash with urgency. "We must act swiftly." He points to the glowing rift. "The sigil of binding is the key to closing this gate. We must retrieve it before the ruin claims it." The council nods in solemn agreement. They understand the gravity of the situation. The fate of Erelon may hang in the balance. Meanwhile, in the forest trail, the sun filters through the canopy, dappling the path ahead with patches of sunlight. Birds chirp merrily, their song echoing in the stillness. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. Lira walks with her head held high, her steps light and cautious. Beside her, Zayn keeps pace, his movements economical, his eyes scanning their surroundings. There's a clear understanding between them, a shared awareness of their precarious situation. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig is noted, each sound adding to the symphony of the forest. After a moment of uneasy calm, Zayn breaks the silence, his voice low and steady. "Why did you really spare me?" The question hangs in the air between them, a challenge, a test. Lira hesitates for a moment before answering. Her voice is quiet but resolute. "I saw something familiar in your eyes. Pain. Purpose. I've spent my life ending lives that carried neither." Zayn nods slowly, acknowledging her words. There's a hint of understanding in his eyes, a sliver of trust forming between them. Lira continues, her gaze fixed on the path ahead. "You're not what they say you are." Zayn meets her gaze directly, his own eyes intense. "Neither are you." Suddenly, the tranquil atmosphere is shattered by a sharp crack. A trap is triggered beneath their feet, causing the ground to erupt in a flurry of magic chains. The chains, imbued with dark energy, lash out, ensnaring Zayn, binding him securely. Lira, nimble and quick, leaps aside, narrowly dodging the attack. From the shadows, a voice rings out, mocking and triumphant. "You should have stayed dead, Hiroshi." Renek Talon steps into the clearing, his form silhouetted against the dim light filtering through the trees. His armor, once a symbol of the Azure Guard, now bears the sinister mark of a cursed sigil on his right gauntlet. The sight of his former friend turned bounty hunter sends a jolt of recognition and betrayal through Zayn. The realization that one of their own would turn traitor is a bitter pill to swallow. Renek, his voice laced with malice, addresses Zayn. "You fight the ruin, but you carry its blood. You're not a hero, you're a herald." Zayn struggles against the binding chains, his face contorted with effort and anger. "That's not who I am." His words are a desperate plea, a cry of defiance against the chains that hold him and the accusations that bind him. In a flash of movement, Lira lunges forward, her blade singing through the air. Steel clashes against steel as her sword meets Renek's. The force of the impact sends sparks flying. The duel is on. Renek parries her attacks with ease, his movements fluid and precise, each block and riposte a testament to his skill as a warrior. His eyes are cold and calculating, devoid of the warmth and camaraderie that once marked their brotherhood. Zayn, struggling to break free, finds himself enveloped by an ethereal glow emanating from his left arm. The sigil on his chest flares, bathing his arm in otherworldly light. As the sigil's power courses through him, he feels a surge of strength, a raw, untamed energy that echoes the very essence of the ruin. With a Herculean effort, he breaks the binding chains, sending them scattering across the ground. Freed, he stands tall, drawing strength from the sigil that now adorns his arm. As Lira continues her dance of blades with Renek, Zayn focuses on harnessing the ancient power surging within him. His eyes blaze with newfound determination. He raises his hand, palm outstretched, and a bolt of sigil light erupts from his fingertips. The blast strikes Renek, sending him reeling. The bounty hunter staggers, his armor momentarily smoking from the encounter. Taking advantage of the opening, Lira presses her attack, forcing Renek to retreat deeper into the forest. Amidst the chaos, Zayn confronts his former friend. His voice echoes with the power of the sigil, a chilling contrast to the gentle tones that once defined him. You want the monster? I'll show you its wrath. Renek, wounded and wary, turns to face Zayn, his expression a mix of surprise and apprehension. The sight of Zayn wielding the ruin's power is a disconcerting spectacle. As the battle rages, Renek realizes he is caught between his duty to his newfound allies and his loyalty to his past. Torn by conflicting emotions, he makes a decision. With a final glance over his shoulder at the relentless duo pursuing him, he melts into the forest's embrace, disappearing into the shadows. The chase ends abruptly. With Renek gone, Zayn collapses, his strength ebbing. He stumbles, catching himself on a nearby tree trunk. His chest heaves, his breaths coming in ragged gasps. Lira, ever vigilant, rushes to his side, her expression a mixture of concern and irritation. She helps him to lean against a nearby rock, her fingers lingering on his arm, ensuring he remains upright. As Zayn catches his breath, he offers a weak smile, a glimmer of gratitude amidst their dire circumstances. Thanks for believing in me. Lira meets his gaze, her violet eyes intense. Her response is sharp, leaving no room for doubt. Don't thank me yet. The world still wants you dead, and I'm not sure I don't. With that, she turns to go, melting into the forest's embrace, leaving Zayn with his thoughts and the fading warmth of her touch. Zayn watches her go, a wry smile playing on his lips. He knows he's walked a perilous path, but for now, the threat has passed. He leans heavily against the rock, his eyelids growing heavy,